Ragnarok, it's got creatures on it. You want creatures, right? There's creatures everywhere in Ragnarok. And in fact, there's more creatures than there were on ARK Survival Evolved creatures. Creatures from other maps, new creatures to the game. Creatures everywhere, so here you go, creature guide. First up, dodos. Aberrant versions of them. They're here, they're there in Ragnarok, that's right. And you can find them here in the place of love, the place of names. And speaking of aberrant, there's Aberrant Megalanias. That's right, they're here too. No longer the rarest creature in the game, one of the rarest creatures in the game. Megalanias can be found surrounded by wyverns in the Wyvern Cove. Paste. Of course you need paste. If you want paste produced, then you want to get yourself an Achatina. So tame yourself an Achatina in all of these locations here. Need to get a pack bleeder or maybe farm some aloe brains, then get yourself an aloe and you'll find aloes in all of these locations. And hey, who wants to get things attracted to them? Of course you do, and Ammonites do that. And you gotta get Ammonite bar from Ammonites, and you'll find Ammonites in these locations here. Pearl farming, like pearls. Of course you like pearls. There's plenty of pearls in Ragnarok. You can get yourself an anglerfish, and you can get more pearls. Metal? Of course you want metal. Metal's good for you. Anky gets a lot of it with its metal farming abilities, and you can find Ankys all over in these locations. If for some reason you want to tame yourself a spider and not be able to swing around or wall climb or maybe just shoot out webs, maybe, then tame yourself an Araneo in these locations. And if you ain't got time to make a parachute and want to tame a creature that acts like a parachute, this thing needs to do more than the parachute nowadays. Then you can tame yourself an Archa and find Archas all over here. An absolute fundamental must to tame once you're on any map because it produces algae for you, as well as being a non-scuba requiring undersea diver, as well as a tank. The Archelon, find it here. The multi-purpose, smithy, grabbing, picking, weight reducing, melee attacking, all around flyer Argentavis is of course a fan favorite, and you can find Arges all over here. Need to spit at something or maybe even break some metal or tech, then you want to get yourself an Arthro and go and find an Arthro down in these locations. And yes, a brand new creature to Ragnarok as part of the day one pre-order content for Lost Colony. Of course, you'll need to own that if you plan to tame any of these. The Drakelings that come in 4 flavors of season variants. You can find these all over Ragnarok to tame to be your new companion, shoulder companion friends. They provide insane loot, by the way. Of course, a wonderful all-around cave traversing creature, great for studying things in the sea. A definite win if you want to get one of these. It's a baryonyx, and you can find berries all over in these spots here. One of the most undisputed underwater sea monsters is, of course, the passively tamed Basilo. Watch out for the mantas around it because they'll hurt you in packs, but back yourself one because now you've got a pretty tanky undersea mount. Need some pace with getting an Achatina or maybe even a early game quick traveling mount. A Beelzebuffo is a great choice for you, and you'll find Beelzebuffos all over in these spots here. Brand new exclusive Ragnarok exclusive creature to the map, found in quite a lot of spots and definitely a few tricks up its sleeves. We're still trying to figure out exactly how powerful this thing really is, but if you want to get yourself one, and it's a knockout sign by the way, find them out in these locations here. Big Man Brunto likes to get berries and is a bit of a guzzler when it comes to taming one, but some people out there still like to tame them if you want to go berry farming. For anything else other than that, not really much so, but they do have a platform saddle. But if you want to get one, you can find them all over here. Little turtle carbonememes, not as fondly thought of now the Archelons in the game, but if you still want to get yourself a mini tanky turtle, you can, and you can find them all over in these spots here. Of course, the undisputed king of carnivores now with its blood rage abilities, an absolute must for OSDs, even though they're not on this map, but you know, meat farming alone, it's worth taming one of these. Carcharodontosauruses, they're spawning in large numbers this time around all over in the spots you know from ARK Survival Evolved. Bleed? Need to bleed? I ain't got time to bleed. Can't remember what film that one's from, but this one can bleed. Carno. A lot of people like it to bleed. If it bleeds, we can kill it. If you want a turkey-necked variant, gobble, get some loot in your life and some XP if you kill one of these, then you can get yourself an alpha. Find an alpha in the same locations, of course, that the Carno spawn at. Need a mobile smithy or a good wood gatherer, or just need to know where the paste spawns are? Well then, Casteroids is the need to know basis, so go to these spots here and you'll find all of the paste you need in your life ever. Did somebody leave the cat litter out? Because cat litter must be all over Ragnarok, because cats are in large numbers on Ragnarok, ready to claw your face off. Make sure, of course, you find a green one, or else you'll never be able to tame it, or get a friend to tame it instead, and you'll find these all over in these locations. Loudmouth, drunkard, sprinting monster, Ceratosauruses, you can find them all over Ragnarok, and of course, you're going to need to farm them if you plan to tame them, because of the spines. Speaking of drunk cards, here's one that likes a good solid beer every now and then because you got to passively feed it beer, and definitely an undisputed herbivore boss fighter. Chalicotheriums, you can find them all over here. Need yourself some biotoxin, of course you do, if you want to make those shocking darts, and if you're planning to farm them with Archelons on top to yield a great amount, go and find jellyfish, Nidaria, all over in these locations. Want to go fishing? Of course you do. Everybody loves fishing. Okay, I don't really love fishing, but you might love fishing, and if you do love fishing, then you can fish for fish in these fishing spots. Nobody tames them, nobody wants them. They're only here to serve to annoy you whenever you knock something out and then run over and deal a tiny bit of damage and then ruin that taming effectiveness, and be mindful of where they are because they're going to be spawning in these spots here. Of course, the always trusty boss companion to help keep healing your creatures in a tough spot. The Daedon is a great handy tool for that, right? And you can find these all over in these spots here. Want to tame yourself a mantis? Well, you're going to need deathworm horns, so go and kill yourself a deathworm to get deathworm horns. And guess what? Deathworms are all over in the dunes. Don't forget, of course, there are ice deathworms within the Ice Queen cave as well, where you can farm them there too. But of course, it's a little bit easier to farm them out here in the desert. Snappy Happy Boss Beating Bleed Monster. Honestly, this thing is undisputed when it comes to taking on bigger hitting foes. The Dinosuchus can be found all over in these spots here. Make sure to tame one because you won't regret it. And the other Dean, or Dine, whichever one of those, but the one that drinks beer, and you got to play a strange game of red light, green lights. Not really red light, green lights. You just got to wait for the animations, the 3 animations to be produced to tame one. Go and find them over in these spots here. Monster for bosses, by the way. Watch out, they spit. They do spit. They spit everywhere. And again, not something you're probably going to plan to tame and will always serve to annoy you. And if they're going to annoy you, they're going to annoy you in these locations here. One day, this will become a much more worthy creature than it once was. The Dimetrodon that, yeah, I guess kind of works as an air conditioner, but nobody really tames them anymore. But if you want to tame one, you can in these spots here. I'll tell you what, for free, get yourself some of these and go down to the Ice Queen cave with a load of these on your shoulders or following you, and you won't regret it. Dimorphodons are found all over in these spots. Honestly, a absolute undisputed monster when it comes to doing the Ice Queen cave. And hey, want to see travel quickly without the requirement of a scuba tank? Then you want to get yourself one of these, a Diplocaulus, which can farm you some decent black pearls from your Eurypterids too. Don't forget that one. Want to tame yourself a different sauropod than the Bronto, one that runs pretty quickly actually, who doesn't want to get on the Diplobus? Then get yourself a Diplobus, and you can find the Diplobus right here in these spots here. Definitely a worthy thing to tame now more than ever because of polyplants, but also don't forget honey, and it's just a decent early to mid-game tame. Dire bears, you'll find them all over in these locations. And if you want to get yourself a polar variant, did you know that you can? And you can on Ragnarok. They're here. They're everywhere, all over in these spots here. Fancy trying to sniff out an Explorer note? Well, you can't at the moment on Ragnarok, though I'm hearing they're going to be bringing in Explorer notes at some point in the future. Dire wolves, they're in. Bit of a chief with the pack buff and a pretty decent early game traveling mount. Find them all over in these spots here. And of course, the iconic flagship creature that you need to tame is, of course, the Dodo. And you'll find Dodos all over these spots on the beaches. Want to harvest plenty of stone? Of course you do. And if you want to do that, you want to get yourself a Doedicurus, and you'll find Doedicurus all over in these locations here. And yes, it was in debate on whether these actually spawned on Ragnarok, but they actually do, because when it turns to night, you'll find them yourself, and you'll find them in these locations all over here. The Dreadmare. You want some poo? Of course you want some poo. Dung beetles can get you some poo. Turn it into fertilizer. Throw them in crap plots. Jobs are good, and dung beetles are here. Want to farm yourself a bucket load of metal, stone, wood, or otherwise? Well, then get yourself a Dunkleo. Get heading to the sea and be prepared to be amazed. I'm really enjoying using these lately. No idea why you would ever want to take one of these, but you can, and you're more than likely going to find these seeing you rather than seeing them first, but you'll find them in these spots here. Definitely a great first choice tame on Ragnarok because of carrots, right? Because carrots are all over and they're usually spawning by the carrot spots. Equus, great mobile chem bench too. Find them in these spots here. Want to kill something for some early game black pearls? Then Eurypterid's the way to do it. Watch out though, they'll knock you out if you don't get yourself prepared when encountering one, and you'll find Eurypterids all over in these locations here. And yes, even more aberrant variants are on the map too. This time the Featherlight, which you'll find in the same locations as you'll find the Aberrant Dodos. And yes, Wyverns. Wyverns are here, there, and everywhere. Of course they are. This was most certainly one of the best maps to get Wyverns on, and now is once again unascended in your find Wyverns all over at either the Cove or the Scar, or even these brand new locations, though no nests have been seen there, so there's a wonder whether you'll actually be able to get any Wyvern eggs from these spots in particular. And with that, if you want to raise some and you haven't got a bison and you need to get yourself plenty of milk, then kill yourself an alpha variant or just kill one for some XP and you'll find them here. Nobody tames these apart from Syntac. So Syntac, this is where you find the gullies around these locations here, mate. Of course, you'll tame one of these though, because honey makes the wall go round. Just don't forget your gilly and a bit of bug repellent, and you got your own personal hive to generate honey. Also, don't forget rare flowers. Not as much as they need to tame now because of the carcars, but gigas are still a muchly desired king of the dinosaurs, and you'll find them in all of the locations as the carcar spawn in too. Monkey see, monkey do, monkey can throw you around too. This is the Gigantopithecus. I like these. They're great. They're great as an early starter tame. And if you want one, you'll find them all over in these locations here. And of course, the flagship Ragnarok creature, the Griffin, which is now breedable too. You can find these all over in these spots here. Nightmare to tame, make sure you get a seagull before you attempt to tame one of these. And if you want to get Ronnie and Naffas, then of course you want to get one of these because of golden eggs, right? So Hesperornis are found all over here. Need a mobile meat pack for some reason or other. If you haven't got a fridge handy or just need to get meat from A to B without it spoiling too quickly, then get a Hyaenodon and you'll find Hyaenodons over there. Get petting them there. And another flagship to Ragnarok, the Ice Wyvern, with a brand new remodel to it and a brand new look to its breath attack. Apparently a mobile fridge on top of that as well. You'll find Ice Wyverns all over these locations, including brand new locations to find the eggs too. And as mentioned earlier, if you want to tame a Hesperornis, you'll need to tame one of these dirty pests that will most likely see you before you see them, grabbing something out of your inventory and eating it and then disposing of it into dust. Seagulls, stop it now. Quick way to get in the sea. One of the easiest sea tames out there around. Always a funny friend sniffing around your feet whenever you dip your toes into them. Dolphins, find them here. Need to turn berries into seeds, then this thing does it in the bucket loads. Watch out though, it'll thumb your face off. Iguanodons, find them all over here. And hey, need to tell if the weather's changing. Don't know if you can do this in Ragnarok, but maybe you can. We haven't figured that one out just yet. Jerboas, they're here all over in these locations, including some spots not in the desert, surprisingly. Polyfarm or maybe even incubation, then you want to get yourself a Kairuku. Penguins, they're all over in these spots here. Want to jump pretty far and grab something mid-air, then Capro does that, but I'm pretty sure it'll do that to you first before you can get to tame it, and you can find them in all of these locations here. And yes, a brand new inclusion to this version of Ragnarok, a wonderful sight to see, a great source to farm for Polly. Don't know how you're going to ride one of these though without the access to particular gems. We're still figuring that one out, but Karkinos are all over in these locations here. Definitely an underrated champ when it comes to dealing with medium to small sized creatures, or maybe even enraging a giga. Kentros can be found all over here. And yes, you need it to make certain things like antidote, don't you? Leeches. You'll find them here ready to attach themselves to your nipples like tassels. And for some bizarre reason, surprised to see them, they are in here as well. Glow bugs. I guess the idea was to have some sort of aberrant theme within the shout-out building. Need to buff yourself some loot, and I'm kind of wondering how well this stacks with the new Lost Colony content. Leoplorodons, you can find them all over in these spots here. Need to level your creatures passively, then you need to get yourself your own Lystro. And they're pretty much here, there, and everywhere. You can't really miss them on the beaches. They're good. Still the undisputed war-drumming, wood-farming, tusk-wearing mammoths are all over to tame in these locations here. Want to zip around in the seas quickly, then you want to get yourself a manta, right? And get yourself a manta to wave race down in these locations here. And of course, a great farming tool, as well as being a knockout king if you throw some ascended clubs on the thing. Mantis are found all over in these locations to tame. Of course, get your deathworm horns or rhino horns at the ready. And as well as aberrant variants, there are normal variants, Megalania, spawning in these spots. You might remember from before. Of course, you're going to need to farm plenty of these if you plan to take on the bosses. And Thatch, it's good to farm with a deer. Did you know that? Deer, doe deer, a male deer, you'll find them here if you've got an idea. Some people like this. I don't really like this. I'm more annoyed by this because they always turn up at the worst of times. I swear they can smell the blood from a mile away. But Megalodons can be found all over in these locations. Sleepy man go sleepy because sleepy man be sleepy. And Sleepy Man sleep here, because Sleepy Man be sleep here. Want to farm chitin? Then Meganora's the way to do it, right? Well, there's better ways of doing it, but if you can get some quick, easy chitin, you can get it from here. And to get the chitin, you're going to want to tame this thing, right? Megatherium, a definite worthy creature that will see you farm bucket loads of the stuff in very short succession. Find them all over here. Want to throw some poo in somebody's face, or maybe even slow them down, because that's what poop throwing does. Did you know? Try it at home. Don't try it at home. You can find mesopificuses all over in these locations here. Will always serve to annoy you, but no longer because of cats, right? We hate them. Nobody tames them. Or do you? Maybe you do. Comment below if you do. Microraptors. You'll find them here. Want to have some mobile water storage? Then Morellatops is the way to do that, right? And tame Morellatops in all of these locations here. And of course, the once dubbed King of the Ocean, though I don't think it is as much anymore, but it's still a bit of a monster in the sea to even encounter, the Mosasaurus. It's found all over in these spots here. Not forgetting, of course, the alpha variant. If you're planning to run into one of these, you'll find them in the same spot spawning here. And hey, a great early game tame to nab because of all the things you can harvest and something that doesn't require a saddle, right? And hopefully you might get lucky with it needing a Mejo berry to tame. Moschopsies can be found all over here. Still not really sure why anybody tames these, but you can if you want to, and they can sit down now, so that's something, I guess. Onyx. They're all over in these locations for you to tame. And hey, a great companion when it comes to either incubation, insulation, or artifact inventory integration. Otters, they're all over in these locations here. Want to pick up some eggs? Of course you do, because this thing is an absolute requirement for any base now, with it being able to automatically pick up eggs, both fertile or not. Oviraptors. Also, don't forget about the cheeky wyvern egg stealing trick with them. And of course, mutton makes the world go round when it comes to taming any carnivore, so you're going to want to get yourself plenty of that from killing sheep, and you'll find Ovis all over here. And I think Captain Fat Duck might want to know where these are tamed. If you do, Captain Fat Duck, you'll find these in these spots here, mate. Another one I don't think many people tame anymore, really. I mean, it attracts things. Kind of still looks cool and is a slightly less inferior tank to a trike. But if you want to tame a patchy rhino, you can find them all over here. What a big, giant, phallic-looking dino. Of course you do. Then you can get yourself a racer, and you'll find racers all over in these locations. And hey, perhaps the biggest starter tame in ARK, right, because of its berry gathering and its alert features on top that you'll keep going when you actually get a base. Parasaurs are found all over in these locations here. Of course, we'll be stealing stuff from you before you're actually able to tame one, but if you've got gachas, you'll definitely want a pego in your life now, and you can find pegos all over in these spots here. Want to go polyfarming with the use of a creature? Then get yourself a Pelagornis, and you'll find Pelagornis all over in these spots flying here. And if you need more poop to double up with your dung beetle, then pop it out at a rapid rate. Give something that runs a Phiomia, feed it stimberries, and you'll find Phiomia all over in these locations. Only serving to gnaw at your ankles. Don't know why you would ever tame one, but you can if you really want to with fish baskets. Piranhas found all over in these locations. Not exactly my fan favourite, but quite a few people out there do like this because it's pretty quick in the sea with the use, of course, of a platform saddle. Plesios are found all over in these spots here. And hey, definitely one of my favourite creatures for land travel. Don't forget about its raising mechanics on top. Kangaroos, Procoptodons. You can find them all over in these locations here. Want to sting a bit of torpor into your life? Then of course you do with a scorpion, and you'll find scorpions all over in these locations here. Or want to simply just bury some secret treasure, or get ready to get your face pounced off by them wild, which is probably going to happen more often than not. Palovias can be found all over in these spots here. And still a favourite of mine, though I really do think we need to be able to level the movement speed on these. They're just a bit too slow, right? But I do like Quetzals, and if you like Quetzals, you can find Quetzals all over here. Another flagship to ARK. I guess it kind of is. It's on the cover art for most of the ARK artwork. Raptors are all over, ready to paint you at a moment's notice in all of these locations here. Don't forget, of course, there's an alpha variant of the Raptor as well. If you want to get yourself some quick and easy early XP, if you're going to go for an alpha, this is certainly the one. And how can we talk flagship without discussing this absolute icon to ARK, right? The Rex, the undisputed all-around carnivore, can be found in all of these locations here to tame. And of course, there's the alpha variant of the Rex, an absolute monster of a beast to take down, but might be worth taking down for a chunky bit of XP, found in all of the same spots too. And definitely my Scorched Earth fan favourite creature. Great to see it back in Ragnarok. Get those cannons at the ready. Rock golems are here all over, spawning in these locations. Underrated starter tame, it really is. A Sabertooth could be a great choice if you plan to traverse a map pretty quickly. That jump, get spamming that jump and you'll see how far you really go, and you'll find these in these spots here. Need to tame yourself an Otter or maybe a Hesperornis, then you're going to want Sabertooth, and you'll find Sabertooth in all of these spots here. And also don't forget, of course, the fishing loot quality with these is better than Coelacanth. Sarcos, not really a go-to tame anymore because of Deinosuchuses, but they exist here as a good land to sea creature. Sarcos, don't forget, of course, these Sarco skins you're going to need, and you'll find them in all of these spots here. And to honour the thumbnail, that's right, Shinehorns are here. I know a lot of you out there love a Shinehorn, and you can find Shinehorns in the same cave as the other aberrant creatures too. Oh, Shinehorn. Definitely still a fan favourite when it comes to being water buff to pump that melee up a little bit more, right? Spinos. You can find Spinos all over, dominating these locations here. And of course, a great all-arounder for when it comes to berry gathering. Definitely one of the best berry gatherers in the game, as well as being a great source for tanks for PvP, right? Stekos, you'll find them all over in these locations here. Definitely a great choice when it comes to flying around in the air quickly, though Griffins are in the game, so maybe not as much now. But Tapajaras are in the game, or Tapawaras, whatever you want to call them. You'll find them all over in these spots here. Nobody tames them really anymore, apart from if you're TK and plan to do a tech cave run. And you can find them, Terror Birds, all over in these to get flappy happy. Definitely still a fan favourite because of the plethora of things you can harvest, as well as its boss fighting capabilities. Therizinosaurus can be found all over in these locations. It'll definitely paint you before you see it. And of course, a great bleeding partner to mount is the Thylacoleo, and you'll find Thylas all over in these spots here. Nobody ever tames them. Why on earth would you ever tame one? But if you need to, I guess, farm a good chunk of meat, then you can go and farm them right in these spots here. Of course, Titanoboa Venom is a thing you're going to need too. Or are you for these bosses? Can't remember. And if you want some more chitin and you can't find any of the Meganoras, then you can find ants, flying ants, or ground ants, and you'll find them all over here. Great to see the big, mighty Titanosaur is back in action on Ragnarok. Honestly, I've missed this one. It feels like it's been ages since I've seen this on a map. And it's here now on Ragnarok, patrolling these locations here. Definitely another fan favourite when it comes to early starter tames because of its berry gathering, as well as its pretty decent weight. The Trike can be found all over the map in these spots here. And maybe you'll tame one of these, or maybe not. They kind of give a few black pearls every now and then. Trilobites, though, if you want to find them, you can find them all over here. And if you want to detect traps, believe it or not, that's a thing these things can do. Nobody does that, but they can do that, as well as turn people sleepy pretty quickly, including you. Troodons, you'll find them all over in these locations here. And definitely my fan favourite when it comes to travelling undersea because of its monster melee and being pretty easy to tame is the Tuzo. And you'll find Tuzos all over in these locations here. And its dominant alpha monster variant that grants you a lot of black pearls, you'll find them in the same spawns as well. And hey, yes, that's right, as well as the Equus, you'll find the unicorn variant. It's actually more common than it seems on other maps. It does seem to be the case on Ragnarok, and you'll find them all over in these spots here, sharing the spawns, of course, with Equus. And the other Lost Colony exclusive creature, Valwyn, can be found on Ragnarok as well. A very easy tame to nab. Just press E and hey presto, you've got one, and you'll find them all over in these spots here. Need to turn some meat into spoiled meat, then you could do that with vultures. And, well, you need that to tame them as well. And they're also a great companion to take on the Ice Queen as well. And you'll find vultures all over here. Definitely a fan favourite when it comes to PvP, right? Because you can do some serious damage on the back of one of these. Rhinos, of course, a great source for rhino horns. And you'll find them all over here. And who doesn't do a boss fight without one of these behind them? The Utyranus is all over Ragnarok in these locations, ready to Karen scream at anything in its wake. Only serving to annoy you, I'm sure, but definitely an undisputed monster when it comes to taking on alphas in the ocean. The Sphincter Cyphactinus can be found all over the ocean in these spots here. Need to find myself some flint in the bucket load that this thing will provide the Phosodosuchus. You can find these all over in these locations to nab yourself one. Don't forget your grenades. Maybe you need some oil or water quickly and you're running around the desert biome, then get yourself a jug bug, right? You can find jug bugs all over in these spots here. And Mothra is back in action if you need to get yourself, I guess, some silk to tame these. I mean, a few people do actually enjoy riding around on these. They're pretty slow and they do drop poop on your face, but you can find them here. And it was inevitable. I really wish they hadn't done it, but I guess it had to happen, right? It's here, yes, all over the volcano. Kill it with fire. You can't kill it with fire, just kill it anyway. And there you go, that's your list, that's your lot. Go and knock yourself out. Hope this helped somebody out there. If it did, please do comment below. Let me know. Until the next one, my name's Raasclark. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, peace out.